So what we're loading here is this is the Dr. Oz video, how to be on keto the healthy way. That's what this is called.
Urgent issue, but denying yourself the micronutrients, the good stuff in food.
I want you guys to see this from start to finish, and I want to be able to respond to it as it's going.
Have you heard of keto?
Keto is amazing.
Keto is the best thing that has ever happened to me.
Sorry again. Paige, go lay down, girl.
Keto.
I plan to stick to keto.
Keto.
On the keto diet, I would never
You can't go anywhere or talk to anyone without hearing that word, keto. And listen, half your relatives are on the keto diet. The other half say they can't wait to start. But have you ever wondered if you or your friends and family are doing keto all wrong? Today, we have the answer. Take a look at these photos. They're flooding Instagram under the hashtag dirty.
All right, so let me tell you what they're talking about. They're talking about 3 different types of keto. There's strict keto, where you're really cognizant of the carbs that you're having. You're cognizant of the junk that's in it, maltodextrin, dextrose, different types of soy oils, canola oil, vegetable oil, things like that. And you're trying to keep all that junk out of your diet. That's strict keto. You're really conscious of what's going on, and you're trying to make an effort to do the best possible. Lazy keto is where you don't count anything really, but you're conscious about the carbs that you're eating. You're making sure that you're trying to keep it under 20 total carbs. Some people go more, like 30. Some people go 50. But some people do net, some people do total. We're starting to find that if you go total, you're way better off that way. So total carbohydrates, 20 is what I shoot for, and that's what I train people for. All this other stuff where people talk about 30, 40, 50 grams net, I don't really believe in that. I'm kind of like in Dr. Eric Westman's corner because he is the longest running ketogenic doctor. 20 total carbohydrates. So these are the different types of keto. Strict, you're conscious of everything. You're trying to do the best you can. You're tracking. You're trying to stay on top of it. Lazy, you're not tracking anything, but you're still not allowing junk into your diet, like different types of sugars and stuff like that may be hidden and stuff, and worrying about carb creep. And dirty is, you're eating canola oil, soy oil, vegetable oil. You're making an exception for dextrose and maltodextrin, things like that in your diet. But at the same time, you're still trying to stay in ketosis, just you're eating a lot of junk food. That's what dirty keto is in a nutshell. But they make it out to be something that is completely not in this video. And I want to clear some of that up for you because I've been doing this for about 15 years. Atkins, low carb, a little bit of paleo, and then keto and carnivorous eating, because I just feel so much better off low carb in general. But when I'm in ketosis, I feel amazing. So that's where I belong. Let's play this video.
Keto. They're saying, for example, look at this one. It says tacos with a taco shell made from fried cheese. It looks good because...
First of all, there's a red flag right off the bat. Cheese in general, as long as it's a hard block cheese and it's not a shredded cheese that has anti-caking agents, if you're buying block cheese and you're shredding it yourself, that is not dirty keto. That is very clean keto. You just have to be very conscious of eating a certain amount because too much cheese can actually cause your inflammatory markers to rise, and that can cause you to stall out with your weight loss. So that's why a lot of times they say no more than 4 ounces a day. Sometimes they'll say cut it back to 2. Sometimes not having it at all if your stall doesn't change. Cheese can be a stalling agent, but it's definitely not dirty keto like they make it out to be right here.
Lose weight with that. How about this one? This one says a plate full of convenience store snacks. And this is...
So what are you looking at here? This is kind of dirty keto. You're looking at like different types of beef jerky that has different types of sugar in it. You're looking at pork rinds and stuff like that. Almonds that may have different types of sweeteners or some kind of seasonings and stuff on it because you're not really conscious of what is being made. But in the grand scheme of things, you can actually find clean products like this at the convenience store or the gas station as well. It just all depends on where you get your stuff from. So I wouldn't necessarily call this dirty keto either.
That's really fantastic. Even a pizza pie with all fried cheese crust. And they're still losing weight.
I've made plenty of pizza pies with all fried cheese crust. They're super clean, has no junk additives in it at all. Using grass-fed butter to fry it, using really good quality products inside that is not dirty keto at all. So this is where you cannot listen to every single social media figure that you see online. And remember, over the last 6 months is really when Dr. Oz started to shift into supporting keto. Before that, he was bashing it just like the rest of them. He was really skeptical, just like the rest of them. So I would not put a ton of credit into this video in general, but there is some good information, but a lot of it's just not very accurate at all.
So what's the catch? Nutrition expert and best-selling author Josh Axe is here. Dr. Axe is going to help us figure this out. I think a lot of us are doing keto.
Remember, this is the same Dr. Axe that was in the video with Jillian Michaels promoting keto, and then all of a sudden, recently, she flipped and started bashing keto. So really pay attention here in the next few seconds of what this guy says, because he completely misrepresents keto in general. It may have just been a user error. It may have been a mistake on his part, but you can catch it almost right away.
Keto, either they didn't do it the right way to begin with, or they've tipped into dirty keto. So I want you, if you can, explain to us what regular keto is and what dirty keto is, so we know what we're really doing to ourselves.
Yeah, so regular keto, Dr. Oz, is number one, we want to get clean sources of protein. Wild-caught fish, grass-fed beef, legumes and beans, and then...
Legumes and beans are not keto. So that may have just been a typo because I've never heard, or a user error because I've never heard Dr. Axe say that. But legumes and beans are not part of a ketogenic diet. And first of all, he started out with wild-caught fish and grass-fed beef. That is better on keto, but that is not keto. Regular market beef is fine. Regular farm-raised fish is fine. It is not as healthy. The omega ratios are not as high. But let's keep it real for the people that can't afford $20 a pound steaks or $25 a pound fish. Let's keep it real for those people. Just because he said grass-fed does not mean that you cannot get regular beef and regular fish. There's nothing wrong with that, and it still is clean keto. He's just taking it to a different level by saying these are organic style products. These are grass-fed products. These are, this is a better level of clean is what he's saying. But some people don't have the money for that. So just eat the way you feel comfortable eating as long as you're not getting stuff with tons of garbage in it. Regular beef and regular fish from the store is fine. And that is still considered clean keto.
The big part of the diet is 75% healthy fat. Avocados.
So here, 75% fat is a great way to start, but it is not the only way to do keto. I've dropped my fat content all the way down to 60% and been more successful and used more fat on my body than on my plate. So this is where we have to really pay attention. 75% is just a general recommendation. That is not what keto is stuck to. So remember, you can shift that number left and right depending on your lifestyle and what your needs are. So this is not a set in stone 75% is what keto is.
Coconut, cacao, dark chocolate, nuts and seeds, flax seeds. We should be doing loads and loads of healthy...
Careful with flaxseed though. Flaxseed is a great omega. It's a great protein fat source, but there's science that also says the body cannot uptake it and digest it properly as well. So be very careful, please. If you like flaxseed, you can tell a benefit from it, sure, use it. But if you're not gaining anything by it and you can't tell by adding it into your diet it's helping anything, don't put it in your diet then.
Fats, and then our 5% carbs here, and that's part of the key of getting into keto is you lower the carbs, your body gets in that fat burning zone, but those carbs, you want them to come from nutrient-dense vegetables loaded with vitamins and minerals. That's really the key to doing it the right way.
This is a healthy diet no matter how you mix up the macronutrients. Okay, what is dirty keto?
So now dirty keto, here's a surprising thing. It's the exact same macros, but you're just getting the completely wrong food in your diet. For instance, we see this on Instagram, but your 20% of your proteins are coming from conventional beef and pork and bacon, and a lot of your fat is coming from processed dairy.
This is where he makes this out to be so bad. 99.9% of us are having conventional beef, pork, and bacon. Dr. Axe is an actor. He likes to make people believe it needs to be the ultimate 100% best quality product to put in your mouth. And even though that is the best way to do it, it's not the only way to do it. Beef, bacon, pork, you can eat that all day and be in ketosis, and there's nothing wrong with that. But let's not get it twisted here, sister. This guy is prima donna right here doing his acting and stuff on TV and trying to make it seem like this ultimate, super, super expensive, super strict kind of way of doing it, and that's not it at all.
Dairy and cheese, and then your 5% carbs are coming from things like low-carb pizza that's full of preservatives and other chemicals, so not good. It's really dirty.
All right, so...
Yeah.
He is right. They do make some keto pizzas that are not very good. There's some bad products in it, cane sugars, high fructose corn syrups. different types of sugars and stuff in it. So the pre-made keto pizzas are not necessarily that great. Even the more healthier ones are still not that great.
Now we know dirty versus clean. And some people own it, right? You dive right into the dirty version of keto. And I see those posts all the time. You're very proud of it. But other people have tipped in to being in dirty keto and haven't even appreciated it. You've seen a lot of confusion amongst your patients. What are they saying to you?
Yeah, well, one of the things I see pretty frequently, for instance, I had a patient come in and he said, Dr. Axe, I'm on this new thing called the keto diet. And I said, hey, that's great. Where'd you learn about it? He said, social media. And I said, well, what are you eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? And I promise you this is what he was eating. Okay. For breakfast, butter, bacon, and eggs. For lunch, he would do a bacon burger. And for dinner, ready?
Yes.
A bacon burger.
Oh, my.
So essentially what this guy's doing is the carnivore diet, which is the ultimate healing version of keto. If you have autoimmune conditions, you have skin conditions that are just not going away with keto, if you switch over to an all meat-based diet, you're getting good quality butter, you're getting plenty of fat, you're getting plenty of protein and stuff like that, you could actually heal further than on a ketogenic diet. It is an even more restricted form, but it's super fun. It's really good food and stuff in general. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. I feel the best off of a carnivorous style diet. I do add some greens and stuff in from time to time when I'm feeling froggy, but fiber in general just does not do well with my stomach. So I continue to be on the carnivorous diet because it makes me feel the best. So, you know, he's making it out to be that this guy's doing something wrong by having like bacon, butter, and eggs in the morning. That's completely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And he's having a bacon burger for lunch. There's nothing wrong with that. And then again for dinner, there's nothing wrong with that. The person that's eating this is probably getting a really good amount of healthy fat, a really good amount of protein, and they're probably losing weight fairly well. And if they're not, most people will.
That was his entire diet.
Was he losing weight?
You know, here's the thing is he was losing weight. He did. He lost about 15 pounds in 30 days. But here's the thing. He was still sick on the inside. He was bloated. He was fatigued. He wasn't feeling...
This is where Dr. Axe is a fool. That fat and the protein and stuff and the bloating in the beginning is because the guy just started it. And he lost 15 pounds the first 30 days. There's going to be some transition there. There's going to be some bloating. There's going to be some fatigue there. There's going to be what's called the keto flu there. There's a complete transition phase. That's failed to be mentioned here. So Dr. Axe is playing this up, and he's being an actor here, and he's dramatizing it, and that is not the case at all.
Well, I then got him on eating the real keto diet the right way. He continued to lose weight and continued to see even better results.
Right, come on, I want you to meet someone. Debbie's here because she's thinking about keto. She sees all these delicious high-fat foods on Instagram like the rest of us. And you want to know a little bit more about this. Does dirty keto work? Is it safe? You just told us a patient of yours lost 15 pounds, so it does seem to work. Debbie, what does dirty keto mean to you? What's the appeal?
Going through fast food joint, drive-through.
So first of all, almost 99% of the fast food joints have quit using like super highly processed like beef with that red gel and filler slime and stuff that they put in it. Now it has to be 100% beef. The majority of the restaurants have all switched to that. So if you're going through a fast food lane and you know they have good quality cheese and it's a real beef, there's nothing wrong with using that. That's absolutely acceptable. That what you have to be careful of is the different types of processed cheese that have soy oils and stuff like that in it. Most of the fast food joints are not going to have a good quality, clean type of cheese. They're going to use a processed cheese that, if you were to actually set a flame to it, it would almost smolder like plastic does. So if you're going through and you're just getting salted beef, that would be completely fine. But if you're putting the cheese and stuff on top of it, I would be very careful because it's not the cleanest form of cheese. But to make it seem like it's this ultimate sin to go through the fast food joint and just get some beef patties and, you know, pull the bread, or you don't even have to pull the bread off anymore. They've lowered the price even more, so you're not wasting the bread, and you can get them for like $1 a piece or something at Sonic for beef patties. You know, it's not a big deal, and it's not necessarily dirty keto.
This is what dirty keto, means to me. It's quick, easy food that you could just take the bun off the meat and you're set to go.
So let me walk you through some of the things I get concerned about when I hear people pull into a fast food joint, get the burger without the bun, think they're on keto. And a lot of you hearing about this with family members and yourselves, eating unhealthy food and worrying about the saturated fats, that could be a concern. It has always been a concern. It could be really an issue for your heart. Let's go inside and...
This is where we need to stop. He's about to take saturated fat and play it as the enemy, right? We all know that if you don't have refined carbohydrates and sugar in your diet, just raw saturated fat, raw protein, just salt, normal stuff like that, it's not going to do anything to you. It's not going to clog arteries. It's not going to cause inflammation. It's not going to do any of that stuff. So he's about to throw some really bad science at you. He's about to throw some really bad analogy at you. He's about to throw you a really bad picture of saturated fat in general. So this video could have been done a lot better, but they completely missed the bar here. And saturated fat is the #1 fuel source for the body when it comes to energy. Polyunsaturated and monounsaturated fats are used for like cellular layers of fat around it, connectivity, communication between cells and things like that. Saturated fat is the #1 energy source of fuel on a ketogenic diet in your body. So let's not get it twisted, sister, again. They've missed the bar here. They're trying to dramatize this and make a show out of something.
Artery and show you what is the big issue for doctors. Now, the arteries inside the heart, they're a passageway to life. They bring nourishing blood to everywhere. The lining is very thin. If it starts to get thickened because you're building up plaque over time, and especially if inflammation, watch what happens. The inflamed plaque is prone to this, a rupture. It gets irritated, and that little plaque begins to pull off. Now,
again, no carbs, no sugar in the diet. Saturated fat and protein do not cause what he's saying right now. This is just a bad misrepresentation of what saturated fat and going through the drive-thru, ordering a couple burgers and taking the bun off. And the saturated fat that's in the meat is the same saturated fat that's in any other meat. Let's, again, not get it twisted.
you got an open scab inside the body. Body wants to heal that scab. It starts to put blood in there because you're inflamed, and that scab now blocks off the artery completely, so no blood can get through and feed the heart. The same thing can happen in the brain. It can happen in other organs, leading to strokes and heart attacks. But if heart disease feels like something way off in the future, don't worry about that, because you're losing weight. You're feeling good now, right? While eating a diet full of pork rinds, I hear you.
There's nothing wrong with eating pork rinds. Just make sure you get the original kind, or you get a quality kind that just puts some kind of flavoring with no maltodextrin, dextrose in it, no sugars in it. You'll be fine. Even if you do make the choice to make an exception for something that has like a barbecue pork rind, it's got a little bit of sugar to it. As long as it's not dextrose or maltodextrin, normally you'll be okay as a quick snack, like in a pinch and you just want something, you're hungry. There's nothing wrong with eating pork rinds. These guys are fools for even saying that this is an issue. I don't know how many times I've taken pork rinds, put them in my food processor, turned them into powder, and then coated chicken and made chicken nuggets out of it for the kids, or for the neighbor, like an event where I'm making a crust for something, whatever. These guys, again, dramatizing actors, misrepresenting keto completely.
It doesn't seem like it's an urgent issue, but denying yourself the micronutrients, the good stuff in food, could be affecting your body right this minute. I want you to introduce you to someone that I care a lot about, one of my producers, Sasha, who has discovered this the hard way.
I know.
Now,
hi, guys.
If I could brag on Sasha for a second, wonderful mother, wanted to lose some weight, went on dirty keto about 4 months ago. We've been hearing about it. We've been just watching her on Instagram, and that's why I've been able to identify what you're eating.
Let me show you. He talks about macronutrients missing, right? Let me show you here just real quick. Let's go. The keto mechanic, which is me, labs. Now, I don't eat as clean as he says that you have to eat, or you're gonna miss macronutrients. I don't do that. I eat just real food. I don't sugarcoat it. I don't do anything. Let's see here. 10 months ago, let's do let's look at my ones from 2017. This was on keto. Just short video. If this silly thing will ever load. Suppose it's time to put the naysayers to bed about how keto is so bad for you. My doctor said my lab results back last August were phenomenal, and I just called her up and said, can I get some results a little bit earlier so I can just do a comparison? So these were mine from last August, and I'd already been keto about 9-10 months at this point. So here we go. Let's see here. We'll look at vitamin D, 33. the range is supposed to be 30 to 100.
Which
That's
that
one of
was
the
low, and
reasons why
I've
I
corrected
take
it since then.
vitamin D, because that's awfully low. And with us being more in the northern part of the United States, we don't get enough sun. So I increased my vitamin D3, and I supplemented vitamin K2 along with omega-3 because those three work together, which the doctor said she thought that was phenomenal, that I recognized that, and I decided to supplement those three because she said, you're right, it will all work together and it will bring your vitamin D up, which people are typically deficient in vitamin D and they don't even know it. Let's go, what are we going to do here? We're going to go here. Triglycerides, 110. It's extremely good.
It's not extremely good,
Cholesterol,
it's just okay.
190. Extremely good. In a healthy range, the doctor seen no problem with that at all. She said, wow, that's awesome. She said, I can't believe you're doing this high-fat diet, and this whole time we've thought that fat is what causes this stuff. And she said, I commend you. She said, maybe I should think about looking more into the ketogenic diet.
My labs
here
get
we
even
go.
better.
HDL, 43, in range. LDL. She said, I'm not too concerned with that because it's just a little over what it's supposed to be on the maximum.
So my HDL here was just a tad bit low. It needs to be up higher than that. And my LDL was just a little high. But you'll see in the next one that I show you, when I go into a carnivorous diet for over 11 months, all that changes. My HDL actually comes up. My triglycerides divide in half and go way down. My LDL even comes down. And my total cholesterol goes down even more on a carnivorous diet. Who would have thought? But according to Dr. Axe and Dr. Oz, eating meat, saturated fat is bad for you. But that's not the case.
Side, the calculated range, but she said, you're healthy, you're losing weight, all your other markers are in check. She said there's no reason to worry about LDL. It's not important at all. So then I go down here and I look at my balances between my calcium is in check. It's in range. Chloride, CO2, urea, nitrogen. This is going to tell you whether or not you're getting good protein synthesis. Your nitrogen content. Perfect, right in range, dead smack in the middle. And I don't consume a ton of protein. That just goes to show my body is synthesizing protein properly, and I don't have to be on a high protein diet in order to synthesize and sustain lean muscle mass. The proof is in the pudding. This is why high protein is not necessary, but it does promote faster fat loss. But it is not necessary. Here we go again. Glucose, magnesium. Perfect, right in range. If you look here, magnesium 2.0. 1.7 to 2.4 is what the range is supposed to be. It's right in the middle. Perfect. Potassium 4.4. Right on the higher side. So I'm getting enough potassium. No problem there. Guys, this is proof. Keto work.
Okay, so now we go back. And I show you my labs from 4 months ago. Carnivore labs. Sorry for the loading. I have really slow internet out here in the
Okay
country.
guys, I went to the doctor today, got my labs done. You guys know I've been predominantly on a carnivorous diet for the last almost 6 months. Somebody brought it to my attention that I had left my social security number up there, so I had to scratch it out and redo the video again. Just so you know, here's my HDL, it's 50. LDL is 118, but I trained really hard the night before, so it is a little elevated. Stress, I was doing tons of deadlifts and 5x5 bench press and stuff like that. What high LDL for most athletes or people that perform anyway is normally high, and she wasn't really concerned with that. My sodium, potassium, chloride, calcium, cholesterol, all right on point. I mean, there was nothing abnormal at all. She wasn't concerned with any of that at all. She actually said good job, especially with somebody my size. hemoglobin A1C was 5.2, good range. My percentages were all right on point as well. My mono, my hemoglobin, my crit, RBC, RDW, everything was all perfect, right in range. No drugs in my system. No acetaminophen, no nothing like that. Urine protein was perfect. Glucose was perfect. Nitrates were good. Blood, everything was right where it's supposed to be. And this is just a schedule of what my breakdown was. Just going to collect the specimens, go get an EKG, check my heart. My heart was perfect. My labs were perfect. And just one last shot of the front of it so you can see. So all the possible vegans out there that are going to try to tear this apart can look at it from a still standpoint. That's what almost 6 months of being on a carnivorous diet does. Gives you good health, puts you in perfect range. So I'd like to see somebody tear this apart and tell me that I'm some. So here, my triglycerides were 52. My HDL came up to 50 from 43. My LDL went from like 190 down, or my total cholesterol went from like 190 down to like 178. My LDL went from 128 or 118 down 12 points on a carnivorous diet. Overall, my remnant cholesterol was way below. My HDL to triglycerides ratio was less than 1. Like it was 0.89, which is perfect. Remnant cholesterol level was like 8. Everything checked out. My LDL was like at 118, which is nothing for me because I train a lot. I'm always like in the gym with inflammation and stuff in my joints and my body in general. So I was super happy with these lab results. But according to Dr. Oz and Dr. Axe, eating non-grass-fed stuff and bacon and butter and all this other stuff would make you sick. That's what, according to them. Anyway, I just wanted to show you this video. I'm going to put Dr. Oz and Dr. Axe's video in the comment section below. I want you all to leave me some comments and stuff about this and just how much of, you know, these guys are clowns. You know, the ketogenic diet is really blowing up right now. Dr. Oz obviously made some mistakes in that video. He did not explain things very well. And I just feel like overall he didn't do keto very much justice. And this is one of the reasons why I stopped following Dr. Oz, because he's all about pushing supplements and stuff like that. It's just something that I'm not into. You can really heal yourself with just food only if you really put your mind to it. All right, guys, take care and God bless. Please leave your comments below. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that little bell notification. Anytime I make a video, you'll get notified. All right, guys, take care and God bless.